The law of cause and effect. Creating your reality. Ciro Irmici. Copyright 2024 Ciro Irmici. All rights reserved. The power of cause and effect, how we shape our lives. Have you ever stopped to think about how the smallest decisions can ripple out into your life? Maybe it was that day you chose to take a new route to work, and it led to meeting someone who changed your life. Or perhaps it was a time when you decided to break an unhealthy habit, and suddenly everything started improving. These moments aren't just coincidences, they're reflections of a powerful universal law at work, the law of cause and effect. At its core, this law is simple: every action has a reaction. In other words, everything we do sets into motion a series of events that shapes our future. Think of it as a cosmic chain reaction, where each of our thoughts, words, and deeds sends ripples out into the universe, eventually returning to us in some form. Understanding this law gives us a profound insight. We are the creators of our reality. Now let's pause for a moment and let that sink in. You have the power to shape your life, starting from this very second. Every decision you make, whether big or small, matters. When we start becoming more aware of the choices we make and the energy we put out, life begins to respond in amazing ways. The law of cause and effect shows us that our current situation, whether it's our relationships, our career, or our health, is not just happening to us. It's the result of our past thoughts and actions. And here's the exciting part: if we don't like where we are, we can change it. This book is about empowering you with the knowledge and tools to take control of your life. We'll explore how this universal law operates and how you can use it to your advantage. You'll discover that by understanding cause and effect, you can break free from limiting patterns, create healthier relationships, and even manifest the success you've always dreamed of. But this isn't just about lofty ideals or abstract concepts. We're going to get practical. You'll learn how to apply these principles in real, everyday situations, because the law of cause and effect doesn't just work in grand, life-altering moments. It's in the small daily choices we make, how we respond to challenges, how we treat others, and even how we speak to ourselves. And here's where it gets truly exciting. Once you become conscious of this law, life becomes a thrilling journey of creation. You'll start to see how every choice sets off a chain of events, and with that awareness, you'll be able to shape the life you truly want. Throughout this book, we'll dive deep into the different aspects of the law of cause and effect. We'll look at how it influences your relationships, your career, your personal growth, and more. Together, we'll uncover practical strategies for aligning your thoughts and actions with the life you want to create. By the end of this journey, you'll be equipped not only with knowledge, but with the inspiration and confidence to take charge of your life. You'll understand that no matter where you are now, you can set into motion new causes that will lead to the results you desire. So, if you're ready to take responsibility for your reality and start creating the life you've always dreamed of, let's begin this journey together. Your future is waiting, and it all starts with the choices you make today. The foundations of cause and effect. Imagine for a moment that life is like a giant web. Each thread you touch sets off vibrations that travel across the web, affecting every part of it. The actions, decisions, and even thoughts you contribute to this web create ripples, which in turn influence what comes back to you. This is the essence of the law of cause and effect. At its heart, this law is incredibly straightforward. For every action, there is a corresponding reaction. It's not just about what happens on the physical level, but also what occurs in the realms of thought, emotion, and energy. Whether you're aware of it or not, every choice you make, whether it's something as simple as choosing to smile at someone or as complex as changing careers, sends energy out into the universe, which eventually comes back to you in some form. But understanding this law goes beyond just knowing it exists. It's about recognizing how deeply intertwined it is with every aspect of your life and how it can be used to your advantage. Cause and effect in action. Let's take a look at a simple, everyday example of cause and effect. Think back to a time when you've been kind to someone, even in a small way. Maybe you held the door open for a stranger or complimented a coworker. Did you notice how their mood shifted? That's cause and effect in action. Your act of kindness, the cause, created a positive reaction in the other person, the effect. Now, let's take it a step further. That person feeling uplifted by your kindness might go on to perform their own small act of kindness for someone else. And the cycle continues, creating a ripple effect far beyond your initial action. This works on the negative side too. If you've ever let frustration or anger get the best of you, you've likely noticed how that energy comes back. Maybe you snapped at someone, and they responded in kind. One negative moment often breeds another. The key takeaway here is this: whether positive or negative, every action you take produces an effect. And the effects you experience in life are a direct reflection of the causes you set in motion, consciously or unconsciously. The subtle forces at play. What's fascinating about the law of cause and effect is that it doesn't just operate on the obvious physical level. It's also deeply tied to our thoughts and emotions. Our internal world is constantly sending out energy, which influences the outcomes we experience. If you're harboring negative thoughts or limiting beliefs, for example, those thoughts will manifest in your reality in ways you might not immediately recognize. Let's say you have a belief that nothing ever works out for me. If you hold on to this thought long enough, it begins to shape your reality. Maybe you start to notice more failures or missed opportunities. But this isn't just coincidence, it's the law of cause and effect in action. Your belief, the cause, creates situations, the effects, that reinforce that belief. On the flip side, when you cultivate positive thoughts and focus on what you want to achieve, you set in motion a chain of events that aligns with those intentions. The law of cause and effect rewards positive causes with positive effects, though they may not always manifest immediately. The key is to remain patient and persistent, trusting that your efforts will eventually yield results. Taking control of your life, here's where the law of cause and effect becomes a powerful tool for transformation. Once you understand that your actions and thoughts are the causes that create your reality, you can start making intentional choices to bring about the results you want. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that life just happens to us, that circumstances are beyond our control. But the truth is, we are constantly creating our lives through the causes we set in motion. Whether it's in relationships, health, finances, or personal growth, the choices we make today determine the reality we experience tomorrow. This means that if you're not satisfied with your current situation, you have the power to change it. The first step is becoming aware of the causes you're currently putting out into the world. Are they aligned with the life you want to create, or are they leading you in a direction you don't want to go? The power of small causes. It's important to remember that not every cause has to be a grand gesture. Sometimes, the smallest actions can create the biggest effects. Think about planting a seed. At first, it seems insignificant, just a tiny speck of potential. But with time, water, and sunlight, that seed grows into a massive tree. The same principle applies to the choices you make. A small act of kindness, a single shift in mindset, or one new habit can set off a chain of events that leads to profound change. The key is consistency. Over time, these small causes compound, leading to big results. Living with intention. So how can you start applying the law of cause and effect more intentionally in your life? It all begins with awareness. Start paying attention to the causes you're setting in motion, both through your actions and your thoughts. Ask yourself, are these causes aligned with the reality I want to create? If the answer is no, don't worry. The beauty of this law is that it's always at work, which means you can start making different choices at any moment. By setting more positive causes into motion, you'll begin to see positive effects in your life. It may not happen overnight, but with time and consistent effort, you'll start to notice the shifts. You are the creator of your reality. The law of cause and effect is a reminder that you are never powerless. Every day, with every choice you make, you have the opportunity to create the life you desire. By becoming more mindful of the causes you're setting into motion and aligning them with your goals and values, you'll start to see the effects unfold in your favor. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the choices you make and how they shape your life. You'll discover how to align your actions with your true intentions, ensuring that the causes you create lead to the outcomes you desire. Remember, every action you take today shapes your tomorrow, so let's start creating with purpose. Every action has a reaction. How choices shape your reality. Every day we make countless decisions, some small, others life-altering. We often don't give these choices a second thought, but the reality is that every action you take sends ripples through your life. These ripples are the effects, and they reflect the causes you've put into motion, whether consciously or unconsciously. The law of cause and effect teaches us that nothing happens by accident. The life you are living today is the result of the decisions and actions you've taken up until this point. This may sound overwhelming at first, but there's immense power in this realization. Why? Because it means you're not at the mercy of external circumstances. You are, in fact, the architect of your life. With this understanding, you can begin to make more deliberate, aligned choices that shape your future in positive and fulfilling ways. The impact of daily choices. Let's start with something simple. Imagine you wake up in the morning and decide to hit the snooze button. It feels harmless enough, right? But that choice sets off a chain of events. By snoozing for an extra 15 minutes, you may find yourself rushing to get ready, feeling frazzled and stressed before the day has even begun. Perhaps you skip breakfast or forget something important, and as a result, your day continues in a chaotic or disorganized way. Now, think about an alternative scenario. You wake up with your alarm, take a moment to breathe deeply, and get out of bed with intention. You take the time to eat a healthy breakfast and prepare for your day. That choice sets a different series of events into motion. You start your day feeling centered, focused, and ready to tackle whatever comes your way. Neither choice is inherently right or wrong, but each leads to vastly different outcomes. The lesson here is that even the smallest, seemingly insignificant decisions have the potential to shape our day, and over time, our life. The domino effect of actions. It's not just the small daily choices that matter. Larger, more significant decisions create even more profound ripple effects in your life. Think about the last major decision you made, whether it was moving to a new city, changing jobs, or ending a relationship. How did that one choice alter the course of your life? The truth is, every decision is a domino that sets off a chain reaction. When you take one step in a new direction, it leads to another opportunity or challenge, which then leads to another, and so on. Often we don't realize the full impact of a choice until much later, but the cause is always there, shaping the path ahead. This is why it's so important to make decisions from a place of awareness. When you understand that every action has a reaction, you begin to consider your choices more carefully. You start asking yourself, what will this decision lead to? How will this choice impact my future? Conscious versus unconscious decisions. A key factor in the law of cause and effect is whether the choices we make are conscious or unconscious. Far too often, people go through life on autopilot, making decisions based on habit, fear, or societal conditioning, rather than from a place of clarity and intention. When we operate this way, we often end up feeling stuck, as if life is happening to us instead of being something we actively shape. But when you begin making conscious choices, decisions that align with your goals, values, and vision for your life, you'll notice a shift. The effects of these choices are different because they're rooted in your true desires, rather than in reaction to external pressures or unconscious habits. For example, unconscious choice. You stay in a job you dislike because it's safe or because it's what you've always done. The effect? You remain unfulfilled and may even experience stress, burnout, or stagnation. Conscious choice. You decide to pursue a career that aligns with your passion and skills, even if it means stepping outside your comfort zone. The effect? You create opportunities for growth, fulfillment, and long-term satisfaction. The difference is clear. Conscious choices lead to outcomes that reflect your authentic self, while unconscious choices often keep you in patterns that no longer serve you. The role of intention behind every action. What you may not realize is that it's not just what you do that matters. It's the intention behind your actions that holds significant power in shaping the effects you experience. Every action you take carries energy, and that energy is influenced by your underlying motivation and mindset. Let's say, for instance, you offer to help a friend. If your intention is rooted in genuine care and a desire to support them, the energy you put out will likely result in positive effects, such as deeper trust and a stronger relationship. But if your intention is driven by a need for validation or the expectation of receiving something in return, that energy may come back to you in ways you don't expect, perhaps feelings of resentment or unfulfillment if your expectations aren't met. This is why it's crucial to become aware of your intentions before taking action. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I acting out of love, fear, obligation, or something else? By aligning your actions with positive, authentic intentions, you ensure that the effects you experience are aligned with your highest good. How to make empowered choices. So, how do you ensure that your actions lead to the outcomes you desire? It all starts with awareness and intentionality. Here are a few practical steps to help you make empowered choices that will shape your reality in positive ways. 1. Pause and reflect. Before making any decision, big or small, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself what the potential outcomes of this decision might be. Does this choice align with your values and long-term goals? 2. Consider the ripple effect. Think about how your decision will impact not only you, but those around you. Remember, every action has a ripple effect, influencing your relationships, work, and overall life experience. 3. Align with your intentions. Get clear on your underlying intentions. Are you making this choice out of fear or love? Obligation or desire? By aligning your actions with positive, authentic intentions, you'll create more favorable effects. 4. Trust the process. Sometimes we may not see the immediate results of our choices, but that doesn't mean the effects aren't unfolding. Trust that the causes you set in motion will lead to the outcomes you're working toward, even if they take time to manifest. Owning the outcomes of your choices. One of the most empowering aspects of understanding the law of cause and effect is recognizing that you are responsible for the outcomes in your life. This might feel daunting at first, but it's actually incredibly liberating. When you fully accept that you are the creator of your reality, you step into a position of power. You realize that you're not a victim of circumstance, but an active participant in shaping your life. This doesn't mean that everything will always go perfectly. Sometimes, despite our best intentions and efforts, things don't turn out the way we'd hoped. But even in these moments, there's an opportunity to learn and grow. Every outcome, whether it's exactly what you wanted or not, offers valuable feedback. By paying attention to the effects of your actions, you can make adjustments and continue moving forward with greater clarity. Shaping your future one choice at a time. The choices you make today are shaping your future. Every action, every decision, and every intention you put out into the world is creating a chain of events that will ultimately define the life you live. By becoming more aware of the causes you set in motion, and by making empowered, intentional choices, you can create the reality you desire. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the power of intention and how aligning your inner world with your actions can amplify the effects you experience. Remember, every action has a reaction, so let's make sure your actions are leading you toward the life you truly want to create. The role of intentions. Aligning your inner world with your actions. Every action you take starts with a thought, but deeper than that, every action is driven by an intention. Whether you're aware of it or not, your intentions shape the energy behind your actions, and that energy has a significant impact on the outcome. The law of cause and effect is not just about the physical actions you take, it's also about the invisible forces that guide them. So, what exactly is intention? Simply put, it's the underlying reason or motive behind your actions. It's the why that drives the what. While actions create the outward cause, Intentions shape the subtle energy that influences the effect. Understanding and aligning your intentions with your desired outcomes is key to mastering the law of cause and effect. When your intentions are clear, positive, and aligned with your true values, you naturally create more favorable and meaningful outcomes in your life. The power of pure intention. Let's start with the most important concept, pure intention. Pure intention comes from a place of authenticity, honesty, and alignment with your true self. It's the kind of intention that has no hidden agendas, no manipulative undercurrents, and no fear-based motivations. When you act from a place of pure intention, your energy is clear and direct, and the universe responds in kind. Example: imagine you decide to help a friend move to a new home. If your intention is simply to support them because you care, and you have no expectation of receiving anything in return, that's a pure intention. The effect? Likely, your friend will feel genuine appreciation, and your relationship will be strengthened. You've sent out positive energy, and it will come back to you in ways you might not even expect, perhaps in the form of deeper trust, goodwill, or even someone helping you in the future when you need it most. But let's say you help your friend move because you secretly want to earn their favor, or because you hope they'll feel indebted to you. This intention carries a different energy. The effect? You might feel disappointed or frustrated if your friend doesn't respond the way you expected. The energy you sent out wasn't entirely pure, and the effect is less fulfilling. The lesson here is simple. The purer your intention, the clearer and more positive the effect. When you take action from a place of love, kindness, or genuine support, the universe mirrors that energy back to you. When intentions and actions misalign, sometimes we find ourselves acting in ways that don't quite align with our intentions. This misalignment can lead to mixed results or effects that don't feel satisfying. For example, imagine you're in a job that you dislike, but you stay because it pays the bills. Your intention is to maintain financial stability, which is a reasonable goal, but your actions, going to work every day without enthusiasm or passion, may send out a different energy. This can create feelings of frustration, lack of fulfillment, or even burnout. Your intention, financial security, and your action, staying in a job you dislike, are misaligned, which leads to mixed results. On the flip side, when your actions are fully aligned with your intentions, the effects are often far more powerful and fulfilling. In this case, perhaps the aligned action would be to look for a new job that both provides financial stability and aligns with your passions and skills. This would send out a clear, consistent message to the universe. I'm ready for abundance and fulfillment. And that's the energy that will come back to you. How to clarify your intentions? The first step in aligning your inner world with your actions is getting clear on your intentions. When you know why you're doing something, it becomes much easier to act in ways that align with your true desires. Here are a few questions to help you clarify your intentions. 1. Why am I doing this? Ask yourself what's really motivating you to take a certain action. Are you acting out of love, fear, obligation, or desire? The more honest you are with yourself, the clearer your intentions will become. 2. What do I hope to achieve? Consider what outcome you're aiming for. Are you hoping to improve a relationship, achieve a personal goal, or create a better future for yourself? By identifying your desired effect, you can better align your actions with it. 3. Is this action aligned with my values? Reflect on whether the action you're about to take is in alignment with your core values. If it's not, you may find that the effect you experience feels off or unsatisfying. When your actions align with your values, the results are often more meaningful and rewarding. 4. How will this impact others? Remember that the law of cause and effect doesn't just apply to you, it affects everyone around you. Before taking action, consider how it might impact others. Positive, intention-driven actions not only benefit you, but also send waves of positivity into the lives of others. By regularly asking yourself these questions, you'll start to develop a deeper awareness of your intentions and how they shape the actions you take. The invisible power of thought and emotion. While actions are tangible, thoughts and emotions are also powerful causes in the law of cause and effect. In fact, your internal world is constantly creating ripples, just like your outward actions. Your thoughts and emotions are the invisible forces behind your reality, and they play a significant role in shaping the outcomes you experience. For example, if you're constantly thinking thoughts like, "I'm not good enough" or "I'll never succeed," these thoughts act as causes that influence your behavior, choices, and the results you manifest. Over time, they become self-fulfilling prophecies, as your actions begin to align with the negative beliefs you hold. Conversely, when you consciously cultivate empowering thoughts like "I am capable" or "I deserve success," you send out a very different energy. Your actions will naturally align with these positive beliefs, and the effects will reflect that positivity. But it's not just about thinking positive thoughts, it's about truly feeling the energy behind them. If you say, "I deserve happiness," but deep down you don't believe it, the effect won't be aligned with your intention. That's why it's so important to not only think, but also feel your intentions. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all aligned, the effects are far more powerful and transformative. Aligning your inner world with your outer actions, here are a few practical steps to help you align your inner world, thoughts, and emotions with your outer actions. 1. Cultivate positive beliefs. Begin by examining your beliefs about yourself and your life. Are there any limiting beliefs holding you back? Replace them with empowering beliefs that reflect your true potential. For example, if you often think, "I'm not worthy of success," shift that belief to "I am worthy of success." Over time, this new belief will start to shape your actions and the effects you experience. 2. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and emotions throughout the day. Notice when you're feeling negative or fearful, and take a moment to shift your focus. By becoming more aware of your internal world, you can consciously choose to align your thoughts and emotions with the outcomes you want to create. 3. Set clear intentions. Before taking any major action, set a clear, positive intention. Whether you're starting a new project, entering a conversation, or making a decision, take a moment to ask yourself, "What is my intention here?" This simple practice can dramatically shift the energy you bring to the situation and the effects that follow. 4. Visualize the desired outcome. Take time to visualize the outcome you want to achieve. Imagine yourself already experiencing the success, joy, or fulfillment you desire. Feel the emotions associated with that outcome, and allow those feelings to guide your actions. The ripple effect of aligned intentions. When your actions are driven by clear, positive intentions, the effects are often far-reaching. You may not always see the immediate results, but rest assured, the energy you put out into the universe is making its way back to you. Think of intention as the seed you plant in the soil of your actions. The more aligned, consistent, and nurturing the intention, the stronger and more abundant the results will be. Over time, you'll begin to see how your intentions shape not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. Living with purpose and clarity, aligning your inner world with your actions, is the key to mastering the law of cause and effect. By setting clear, positive intentions and ensuring that your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, you'll create powerful effects that reflect your deepest desires. In the next chapter, we'll explore how this alignment between cause and effect can be applied to breaking negative cycles and creating lasting change. Remember, the more conscious and intentional you are about the causes you set in motion, the more empowered you become in shaping your reality.